Toronto Blue Jays just shocked the MLB is following what has been a very up and down stretch for the Toronto Blue Jays over the past week. The Toronto Blue Jays come out and not only send a serious message, do so in a game that was filled with some very unexpected fireworks. We're going to break that down, as well as got some big injury updates surrounding Vladimir Guerrero Jr. following getting absolutely drilled. But we also have multiple Jays moves, including one move surrounding a prospect that has fans very intrigued. We're going to break all that down in this episode, folks. Ton to go over today, but before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys again for your continued support over here as we're on the road to the big goal of 30,000 subscribers and 20,000 subscribers for that matter. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, folks. Lots to go over today. Obviously, the Jays coming off of a huge afternoon win, a very, very early game. The Jays are in the middle and the beginning of a 16-game straight stretch where they have no off days, folks. So this series coming into it was going to be absolutely massive. The Guardians are right behind them in the wild card spot, and they come out and send a serious message to everybody, but not just in the fact and the matter of the score, but the way that it was done. And let's start with, of course, the box score a little bit here. So Bichette went 0 for 5. Pretty unfortunate game for him. Nathan Lukes with the hit of the game, getting a single to drive in 2. Vladdy only had one at-bat before getting drilled in the arm. We'll dive into that a little bit later. Berger got a hit. Clase got a hit. Some RBIs all around. Some craziness from Kirk, who came in because Heineman also got injured. A hamstring, I believe, or his calf, he got hurt. Kirk with 2 RBIs. It was a crazy game, just in general. One of the crazier games, actually, we've seen all year. But what matters here is that the offense managed to get things done. They only strung together 6 hits. They got no home runs, but they got, through from little ball, or small ball rather, not little ball, small ball. And especially given the big inning to start the game, they put them up 2-0, which ultimately ended up being 3-0. Nathan Lukes coming up with the bases loaded and 1 out, going down 0-2, battling back to get to a full count, and then hitting a single. The base running has been fantastic, and they shocked a lot of people here because this was a series that not necessarily Jays. I mean, us as Jays fans, of course, we figured the Jays were going to win. We know how good they've been playing, but there's a lot of teams out there doubting the Jays just in the sense of the way that they've been playing, things like that. They're on an absolute roll right now, and shout out to Kevin Gausman, who not only went 8 innings, gave up 0 runs, only 2 hits. Is Kevin Gausman back yet? Am I ready to declare him the B word? No, he's not. I don't think he's fully back yet. Hopefully, he can continue this in the next start, which will be against a very, very, I believe that next start's actually lined up for Canada Day, which will be a crazy one in itself. But he also, of course, stood up for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And Vladdy got drilled in the arm. Yesterday, he got hit. There was someone else who got hit earlier in the game. And then Vladdy, of course, gets hit, stays in the game, then ultimately gets taken out the next inning. First batter, Kevin Gausman comes up, drills José Berríos, gets warned. Was it intentional? Probably. Do you like to see that? I don't like to see players get hurt, but in this instance, like Joe Siddle was saying, like obviously Caleb Joseph was saying, they needed to defend their guys. They needed to defend their players, and that's what they did. You cannot let other teams continually pitch inside and hit Vladdy and not be worried about it. And of course, that's what happened. They got pitched inside yesterday. Vladdy got hit. I don't think that one was intentional. Today, Bibby, whatever you pronounce his name, gave up a couple runs, 3 runs. Vladdy comes up, it's 2-2, gets nailed in the arm. And do I think it was intentional by the Cleveland Guardians pitcher? I think it was thrown with an intent. I think they threw it inside, and he was thinking, okay, worst case, it hits him. You walk, one of the best hitters in baseball. It is what it is, right? And that's what happened. And of course, funny enough, I guess not funny enough, coincidentally enough, both Vladdy and José Berríos left the game, got the same x-rays, and got the same results back, which are both forearm injuries, both just contusions, and Vladdy's x-ray came back negative, which was very, very encouraging news. So Vladdy is not hurt. He's going to be fine. I'm sure he'll get in the lineup tomorrow against the Boston Red Sox in Fenway, which will be very crucial. But just a crazy game. And those are the type of games that really send a serious message, and you love to see that overall there. So shout out to the offense. Not the best game. No home runs, really. Clase got a hit. I have Kirk come up pinch hitting for Heineman, who was hurt. Miles Straw with a couple knocks. Overall, a fantastic game there. And of course, Kevin Gausman, an absolute animal, and he shined. He shined today in just an absolutely dominant performance. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on that, because it's going to be interesting now. They managed to save their bullpen. That's what's crucial about this. Again, they're in the beginning of a 16 straight game stretch. You need to have your bullpen fully rested, and heading into Boston now, it is fully rested. You only had to use Chad Green today. You can save Brendan Little, Jeff Hoffman. Hopefully Jimmy Garcia is coming back soon. Hopefully you get Dalton Varsho back soon. Obviously not a bullpen arm, but someone who can help the team. Nick Sandlin, you save a lot of the guys, and that's the most crucial thing, a part of this. But let's also talk about starting pitching. we have an update surrounding Max Scherzer. So John Schneider says Max Scherzer told him he feels better today than he did the day after his AAA rehab start. Scherzer felt he could have thrown another 10 pitches Tuesday. He threw 83. If he continues trending this way, he'll pitch longer next time out. So very, very positive news here overall by the Toronto Blue Jays and Max Scherzer, because we know, and it's a good point by Joshua here, the nice thing about all this truly honest updates from Scherzer early in the process is that we can also fully trust him to be honest here when he's being positive. Because Scherzer will say if he's not healthy, and he'll say if he's dealing with something, he feels good, and he'll pitch the next start out. And he, very solid game. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs. It is what it is, and you take that every single time, especially against the Cleveland Guardians. So it's going to be good. He could have thrown another 10 pitches, and he feels better than he did after his rehab start. So fantastic news there on, of course, the Max Scherzer front. Just overall, really, really positive. I mean, it was a positive day all around. The Jays move up in the wildcard rankings. I now move up to, I believe, 2.5 games ahead of the Guardians now. Might be 1.5. They moved up a game on the Guardians, which is, of course, crucial. You have, of course, the Red Sox trailing you, who you also play starting tomorrow. You continue to make ground up on the Yankees. Hopefully they can slide. It seems like the Rays will never lose a baseball game again. So we'll see if, they can continue to, or eventually start losing games. But for the Jays, they're maintaining, they're hovering, but they're also improving, and they're getting wins. And as the trade deadline approaches, this team is showing Ross Atkins that they should be going all in, and I think that's what they're going to do there. But a couple of other moves as well. One, in case you missed it, Spencer Turnbull, he's been DFA'd. He's now gone. He's going to be not with the Jays. That was the move that was made yesterday in exchange for Max Scherzer to come up, of course, and be with the big league team. But also, the Jays are promoting prospect Johnny King to Single A. And this is a pretty interesting one because you can see this here. He had a 1.13 ERA in the Florida Complex League. He's a very intriguing prospect. For a Toronto Blue Jays farm system that didn't have a lot of prospects for a while, you have Trey Savage, you have Gage Staniford dominating. We'll have a video coming on that probably tomorrow or maybe even later tonight. But regardless, absolutely dominating. And now you have someone even lower in the system getting promoted to Single A, and Johnny King, who's been dominant in his own right. Again, a 1.13 ERA. He started 5 of those games, 24 innings, hasn't pitched it for a ton of length, but he's been absolutely dominant. And it's at a point now where the Jays farm system looks great, and they're slowly starting to develop, which is the polar opposite from even last year and the year before, a bunch of players that can be used as trade chips to help this team. Because at the end of the day, this team is fighting for a playoff spot. This is the last year of John Schneider's contract, of Ross Atkins, Mark Shapiro, all these different guys. This is the Bo Bichette even. This is the time to win. You have your team now, and you're playing extremely good baseball in a very tough AL East division. Maybe not as tough as previous years, but still very tough. It's about that time now where they go ahead and use prospects. I'm not saying trade Johnny King. I think Johnny King, they'll probably keep him, especially because he's so young, only 18 years old, and dominating in low A, now getting promoted to Single A. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. But let me know down below what your thoughts are on this, what your thoughts are on the warning following Kevin Gausman get hit. And in case you're wondering, Gausman here had his best game of the year by far, but his best game in probably the last, handful of months and even years, debatably, with the movement on his the V movement on his splitter. He's been absolutely dominant. It's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward. But that'll wrap it up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Thank you guys for watching. See you later. Cheers.